partner for the program. And we begin now with Andrew Edwards. He's online. And we speak to him about the chances of his team and the naming of the 20-man squad for the Under-17 championships. All right, we should have Andrew on. Andrew Edwards, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Seth, and good evening, Dr. Wright. And I understand my friend Simon Preston is also there. Good evening, gentlemen.
Well,
the great Simon.
Yeah, you're in good company. A lot of respect for
Good
Simon.
afternoon, Andrew.
Very August company. I am quite privileged.
Well, you yourself, we linked some time ago when you were at Titchfield, and you have grown from strength to strength. Glad to see where you are and wishing you all the best, Andrew.
Thank you very much, sir.
Andrew, first up, the squad. Tell us the process of selection. Is this the finest unit that you could have put together?
We believe as a staff that we have made the best decisions at this point in time. There are no real surprises per se. We have 6 players who did not participate in the final round in Trinidad. One of those 6 would have played in the preliminary round and was excluded from the Trinidad leg only because of injury. We speak of Kasim Priestley of Kingston College. And then the other 5, 3 of those, Richard Thompson, Ricardo McIntosh, and Shane Ricketts, were a part of the said group when they were under 15. So the only 2 genuine newcomers we have is Jermaine Lyons and Akeem Mullins of Denham Town and Vauxhall, respectively.
In terms, yes?
Sorry. Yeah, I want to just go on to say that the fact that these youngsters have made the team at this point in time might seem as a surprise or a bit of wavering by some people. But the truth be told is that the development of youngsters in football is not linear. And so you'll find that some you thought were very good 2 years ago are not so good now, or they might not have developed as you'd have expected. And others you thought were not so good have transitioned quite nicely. And in the case of Shane Ricketts, he is a special case, I believe, because he's the only one in the team who is currently playing Premier League week in, week out as a starter. And he plays for Reno FC out of Westmoreland.
And Andrew, one of the surprises for me is Trevon Reed. What happened?
Trevon is a very, very good player. Still developing and learning his craft. He's one of those players that I particularly like. Unfortunately, he's very much in the same mold as other players in the team and less productive at this time in the final product. So you see, for all the work that he doesn't produce a lot of goals, whether scoring or assists, and that's a big question that we have to look at. He would have been a newcomer to the group, and in a situation like that, we made the decision to go with those who have been here before and who have proven that they have the ability to perform at this level, producing the goods, so to speak.
All right.
Andrew, tell us about the qualities that you look for in players who will represent us at the international level, because you have players who perform well locally, but internationally they don't step up. Have you encountered that kind of problem?
Not with this group or the previous one, quite frankly. I don't know if that is something about my own assessment capabilities or the staff around me. But we generally we start from a clear idea of how we want the team to play. We have clearly defined player profiles for each playing position within the team. And then once we identify players who we believe are capable of fulfilling those responsibilities or those roles, then we execute our training sessions in a manner that will help them to develop along those lines. And of course, we look for those who are most efficient in performing the technical and tactical tasks. But we also want players who have a certain mental disposition, to show that grit, that winning mentality, that desire to succeed and to reach the very top. People who are very, very ambitious and who are always going to give us their very, very best. And to be truthful, I think we tend to have more of the opposite of the question you asked, where you have some people who don't train very well, but when you put them into the game, they become some alpha beasts for want of a better way of describing them. You know, they are the ones who seem to have the greatest passion for success when you put them into the game.
Andrew, Simon here, you know, if you look at the format for the tournament this year, it's different from what you had 2 years ago in Honduras, where it was 6 teams in 2 separate groups. Now it's 4 teams in 3 separate groups. How do you like this sort of format? Do you think it hinders the team sort of growth, playing every 3 days? Or what are your general thoughts about this sort of new format of the tournament?
The format is what it is. You know, quite frankly, my only disappointment with it is that CONCACAF did not communicate this to us. You know, I mean, I learned about the new format the night before the draw in Panama City. And I think that is very, very unfortunate. And, you know, but that being said, in terms of the times when we play, it's pretty much the same as it was 2 years ago. Obviously, you play 5 games 2 years ago in the preliminary stage compared to 2 to 3 this time around. That in and of itself would have given the players much more opportunities to play at the top level, at their age group level. It also means that if you made an error early in the tournament, you had the opportunity to correct that, which is exactly what happened to us 2 years ago when we lost our first game against the host country, but went undefeated for the remainder of the tournament. In this format, losing the first game can be detrimental, even though you can recover from it. I think the biggest question is most people are of the opinion that we have been drawn in the group of death. You know, we play the US of A, El Salvador, and Mexico in that order.
The big question, though, Andrew, is who will die?
Indeed.
Yeah, and therefore the question I had in mind for you was, what was your mindset and the mindset of the boys when they understood that they had the likes of Mexico and the USA in their group?
Well, my first impression that night in Panama City when the draw took place was that, wow, we were really unlucky. And I felt that feeling about the group of death thing, you know. But after a couple of hours, you got a chance to reflect on it and you look at the whole situation and you start to think about how we're going to make this work, because whatever the draw is, you still have to keep your dream alive. And so I started to take the approach that this is the group of opportunity, because the truth is, once we get out of this group, then we would not have neither of those 2 powerhouses or El Salvador to play again in the next stage of the competition, where the real qualifying takes place.
All right, Andrew, please hold the line. We have to take a break, and when we come back, Dr. Paul will join the conversation.
Visit Donald Witter Limited for all your AC units and compressors for industrial and commercial needs. They stock a wide variety of motors for cold room, AC, refrigerators, and chemicals for commercial use. Located in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Maypen. Telephone 906-4516 in Kingston, 902-1469 in Maypen, and 940-2294 in Montego Bay. At Donald Witter Limited, we sweat to keep you cool.
It's time you had a banking relationship that works for you. One where you're in control and you get all the benefits.
Yes, that's what JN Bank does for me. As a member, I own JN Bank, and that's why it's my main bank.
JN Bank brings you a range of tailor-made savings and loans options, mortgages, and other flexible financial solutions to keep your life and business moving.
When I use my JN Visa credit card, I enjoy a low interest rate, and I pay on the outstanding balance. Now that's what you get when you own your bank.
That's the kind of personal attention you deserve.
The #1 member-owned bank.
Make JN Bank your main financial partner today. JN Bank will help you find a way.
St. Elizabeth Cooperative Credit Union offers microloan enterprise. Get up to $500,000 for small business with half interest weekly. The time by St. Elizabeth Cooperative Credit Union, your leader in changing lives, is 4:15.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart.
Mustard Seed Communities began in 1978 on the outskirts of Kingston, Jamaica. Initially, it served as a home and a school for a handful of challenged children who had been abandoned. Today, MSC provides residential care to over 400 children and adults with disabilities, children affected by HIV/AIDS, and a home of teen mothers in crisis. MSC also manages a number of community outreach programs to combat poverty and malnutrition. Mustard Seed Communities or Helping Hands project for the months of March and April 2017. Call them at 618-1537 or 9236-488 to find out how you can help.
And the world will be a better place. And the world.
Sportsmax Elite League.
Come on out to support every top striker in the GFF Sportsmax Elite League, the new under-18 football competition. Support your parish team every Saturday from March 18 to May 27 as they square off for the All-Island crown and over $1 million in cash. Follow Sportsmax TV on Instagram and Facebook for match details and catch live doubleheaders on Sportsmax 2. Sponsored by Sportsmax, Digital Play, Scotiabank, NOA, and the Jamaica Observer. It's the GFF Sportsmax Elite League.
Top striker, top striker.
It's Tools Hardware and Supplies back to the 90s massive sale.
April 1 to May 6.
With prices from the 1990s.
Tiles starting as low as $4.99.
Doors and windows at giveaway prices.
Highball and quad flush toilets for under $10,000.
Plus a whole lot more.
Everything to beautify your home.
So now makes sense you shop on Room. Tools have the lowest prices anywhere.
Feel good while stocks last.
Come visit us at 8 Redlands Road, 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road.
Or visit toolshardwarejamaica.com.
The Lion King of Hardware.
This segment is sponsored by New Era Fencing and Property Services Limited, the efficient fence people. Call 764-8986. Gateway Pharmacy, the gateway to your health. Mortis Auto Parts, for a very wide range of auto parts. Electrolock Locksmith and Security System Limited, 11 Kasha Park Road. Call 937-7823, keeping you safe and secure. Value Auto Spares, you get value for your money. jacars.net, don't walk, click. Mac Jones Locksmith Limited, the safe and vault experts, serving Jamaica for over 50 years. New Look Cleaners Limited, get the best look at New Look Dry Cleaners. And Cohen's Electrical and Associates Limited, bringing you a brighter world.
You're listening to the award-winning Scoreboard on your #1 sports radio station, KLAS Sports FM 89, powered by ESPN.
Okay, welcome back to the Scoreboard. We are on the front page, and on it with us is Andrew Edwards, and the us is the durable duo, Stratton Palmer and Dr. Paul Wright, and we are joined by the able and capable Simon Preston. Simon knows a lot about football in whichever country it is played. Andrew, welcome back.
Gentlemen, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah. Andrew, we were speaking before you left about the mindset that would have obtained when you or that you're in the U.S. group. But isn't it the fact that you have never lost to the U.S.?
As a coach personally, except in the practice games.
In the practice.
In the competitive games, no. Well, you count the penalty shootout as a loss, yes.
Yeah. Andrew, let me tell you something about my mindset when it comes to these things. At the World Cup, European Cup, Champions League, this would be a group of death. In junior football, this is a group of joy. I tell you why. If you are developing young footballers, this is where you want them to start, against the best of the best. And even though you may lose, what you have gained from these 3 matches, I think is going to put forward your program at least 2 years.
Indeed, and we have to look at it that way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the things that drives my own thinking as a coach at this level is that the players that we're working with now, we are hoping that we are doing a very good job creating a base that these players will be our national senior team in another 7 to 8, maybe 10 years maximum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're looking at 2026 World Cup that will be hosted here in CONCACAF. Jamaica must be looking towards that as a World Cup that we must qualify for if we don't do so before then. And these players in this current under-17 group will be 25, 26 years old that time when they are just about entering the prime of their football careers. Mm-hmm. And so you would want to believe that if we are looking at the long profile of our football development, then these are the players that we need to be focusing on for that World Cup qualifying campaign.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, Andrew, and it's not a negative, and I really would want to refrain from asking at this stage, but I must. In terms of the preparation, you're going up against teams which have played multiple games more than we have. And the fact that most of our practice games were home games, how would that impact on the team, you think?
It will have an impact, no two ways about it. From a psychological perspective, we have to try and manage the effects of that impact as best we possibly can, and we have to also use the resources available to us to get the boys to respond as best we possibly can. The truth be told, though, sometimes less is more and more is less, you know. And we are hoping that holds true in our favor this time around. Obviously, football is one of those activities where the more you do it, the better you become at it and the more experiences you have. And that will gauge your response when faced with certain situations. That definitely will favor the USA and Mexico for sure. Maybe El Salvador as well. But one of the things that has worked very well for us here in Jamaica, through many different spheres of life, football being no different, is our resilience as a people, and that warrior spirit, that spirit within us that always wants to win and to do well. And I think just looking at the youngsters, listening to them in training and around the house since the camp, I think there's this burning desire to do well and to achieve, something that we have achieved before. Because even though we have qualified for 2 under-17 World Cups, we have never done so outside of Jamaica. And we came very close last campaign. We didn't make it. This time around, the mindset is that we want to go one better. And it doesn't matter who we have to do so against to do. We want to do one better.
Mm-hmm. It is my experience, Andrew, that based on what you have said, that a team like yours need a psychologist or a master motivator. Do you have that as part of your complement?
We do. Fortunately, we have been blessed to have the services of Miss Natalia Godfrey providing such services for us. In fact, she will have our final session tomorrow evening with the boys. It's a pity we didn't have the resources to ensure she comes along on the trip, because there will be situations on tour, without doubt, that would probably necessitate the input of a professional. But we will make the best use of the technological resources available and ensure that our resources are drawn upon whenever.
There are some things in life, Andy, that you cannot afford not to afford, because what you end up with is a half-baked cake, And to have her half the way, man, come on, some private sector people should jump in if the JFF can't sponsor that individual. Come on, Jamaica. That's Simon.
Simon?
Yes, Andrew, I just wanted to make the point about the friendlies that we played last year against the likes of the US, Canada, and Cuba. Were they helpful to you in identifying your core players for this tournament and have an idea what you need moving forward with this team, you would say?
Most definitely. The 4 games against USA and Canada, we believe that those games came at inopportune time. In terms of where the team was and the mentality of the players, in the middle of the Manning and the Costa Cup campaign, most of those boys were not really interested in international football, or they were not prepared for international football mentally for sure, and physically as well. However, when we review those tapes and we look at everything as a full project, we recognize very important bits and pieces that would have come together to make the final decisions about which players we brought and which players we didn't.
The other thing I wanted to find out, when I look at this group of players, I'm a former goalkeeper, Andrew, and I always believe that you need 3 goalkeepers when you travel. Now you have 3 matches, and have you identified any member of the squad who you will put in goal in case of some emergency?
Yes, We do.
Okay,
Kimani Gibbons.
Okay. Well,
he's our third string goalkeeper.
Good. Okay. Good. I wanted to know that because I grew up in football under the coaching of Winston Chongfa, who was also a goalkeeper, and he always did that with us in our training session. There was always one member of the team who he would put in goal in some practice sessions because he said, Pablo, he used to call me Pablo. If anything happened to you, we have somebody there who has some experience with going in goal. So good move there, coach.
Come on.
Yes. Andrew, in terms of the development of particular players, outside observers would have looked at somebody like Topi and would have wondered whether you have worked on his composure.
Topi definitely has matured quite a lot. I think he had some mental challenges, and I think he's overcoming those. He's one of those players that I am hoping will have a very bright and long future in the game for Jamaica, because I think the qualities that he possesses are qualities that we will need going forward. You know, he's 6'5", very, very nimble at the feet with the ball, and you know, can read the game very well. Obviously, need a lot of work physically, and I think we need to get him a nice nutrition program and gym program. But he's one of those that we believe will the program in the future.
We saw a Champion League game this season with three of the better forwards in the world, people with a lot of skill. When you reach up on tough defenders, you're expected to find a lock, a key to open the lock. In terms of your forward, nimble-footed, quite skillful, I understand, Senior it is. And Paris, they have a good skill, or are they with the goal scoring effort?
Senior is our top goal scorer through the tournament so far. Himself and Nicky O'Daly are the ones who have gotten most goals for us. Paris is just in that mold as well. And so we expect them to continue that part. Paris is the more creative of the lot, and he will start in the number 10 role with the responsibilities to create the bulk of the goal scoring opportunities for us.
Tell us about the kind of game changer that you have on the bench. Anybody on the bench you can look to. Sometimes as a coach, you look around, you want a change, and boy, you can't see the face that you need.
Well, I don't think we'll have that problem with this group. I think when we name our starting 11, the 9 remaining players will be well equipped and well charged up to go in there and do the job for us, depending on what we need. We are of the mindset that in this first game we will probably need players to secure the advantage that we would have gotten for ourselves early in the game. And if that is not the case, then we know we have people on the bench as well who can go in there and change the offensive dynamics for the team and create some challenges for the US and give us goals.
The other thing that excited me about your build-up, coach, was the 12-week in-camp that you had, where you had tutors coming in to help the boys while you honed their skills and built, as you pointed out in the opening statements that you made, the camaraderie and the spirit between the boys. 5 Americans are coming in, and I'm a bit concerned because I'm a bit worried about the camaraderie and friendships and associations that were built up in these 12 weeks. Now you have to go and introduce 5 guys. Granted, some of them have played with the squad before, and so they're not going to be strangers, but I'm a little concerned. Are you?
Not at all.
Okay,
all of these boys would have been a part of the team from the very get-go, from ball one, so to speak, if we're using a cricket parlance. Jeremy Verley is one of those 5-year count, and he was at St. George's College up to last year. So we don't actually count him as an overseas player.
Okay.
And then the others have been here for training camps. They have played in the previous 2 rounds of qualification. They are just fantastic kids, and I think they are fully integrated into into this team and into the Jamaican way as well.
All right, I will take another break. Andrew Edwards, kindly hold the line. We'll be joining you after a few messages.
Home choice, real nice flavorful. Home choice, real nice flavor.
Home Choice Indian curry fritters mix and ginger extracts.
The temperature by Home Choice is
30 degrees Celsius in New Kingston.
KLAS Sports FM 89 now presents Sports in a Minute. Sponsored by Fosrich Group of Companies, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people. Visit us at 77 to 79 Malines Road, 3 Cottage Road, 18 Fairview, Montego Bay, and 35 Ward Avenue, Mandeville.
Paradise Prep won the first ever regional gymnastics meet in Westmoreland on Tuesday, with Savannah Lamar Prep and Petersfield Primary finishing second and third respectively. Paradise ended with 88.45 points, while second place Sav Prep amassed 86.35 points and Petersfield third 85.4 points. 10-year-old Jaga Level 3 Gillian Hall of Paradise Prep won the overall top score award with a perfect 10 on vault and bars with 9.8 on floor. Paradise Prep will represent the Western region at the National Schools Championships scheduled for November in Kingston. Orlando Gilpin found the net 5 times as Revelation FC hit Mountain Villa FC for 6 in Tuesday's action from the St. James FA Sandals ATL Senior League. Oliver Merston had given Revelation a 33rd minute lead, but it then became the Gilpin show as he fired home in minutes 43, 52, 60, 61 and 65 to give his side a 6-0 win. Meanwhile, Catherine Hall FC and Lilliput Rovers FC battled out a 0-0 scoreline in their game. The competition continues on Friday when Mile Road FC tackles Melbourne Mind Games FC and Mobay City entertains Mountain Villa FC. And finally, Juventus eased into the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League following a 0-0 draw with Barcelona inside the new camp to advance 3-0 on aggregate. The Catalans were hoping that lightning would strike twice in the Champions League, but Juventus produced an exceptional defensive performance to keep Barcelona at bay. Meanwhile, Monaco also sealed their place in the last four, following a 3-1 win over Borussia Dortmund to advance 6-3 on aggregate. Juventus and Monaco joins Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in the semi-final draw scheduled for Friday. And that was the sports in a minute.
KLAS Sports FM 89 has just presented Sports in a Minute, sponsored by Fosrich Group of Companies, your electrical, lighting, solar, and LED people. Visit us at 77 to 79 Malines Road, 3 Cottage Road, 18 Fairview, Montego Bay, and 35 Ward Avenue, Mandeville.
Experience Mandeville's tropical paradise at Tropics View Hotel and Suites, the diamond of Jamaica's south coast, conveniently located 5 minutes from the town centre, boasting elegantly furnished bedroom suites, large fully equipped conference room and exciting recreational activities. Indulge your taste buds in fine cuisines at Laratrica Restaurant, ideal for weddings, receptions, meetings and family reunions. Airport transportation services available. For reservations and bookings, call 625-2452 or 276-6135. Tropics View Hotel and Suites, Mandeville's tropical paradise.
Let's all paint the town red and white, black and brown. Watch the colors dry. They look so well, it's no surprise. We are all in this thing together. Hey! With edge camps gonna glow. Don't just paint it, let it glow. It's wonderful money, so durable. In gloss and low sheen, got the motion stuff. You can choose from a wide range of color. Hey! With Color Glow.
Color Glow by HCAM, distributed island-wide.
Sports Max Elite League.
Come on out to support every top striker in the GFF Sports Max Elite League, the new under-18 football competition. Support your parish team every Saturday from March 18 to May 27 as they square off for the All-Island crown and over $1 million in cash. Follow Sports Max TV on Instagram and Facebook for match details and catch live doubleheaders on Sports Max 2. Sponsored by Sports Max, Digital Play, Scotiabank, NOA, and the Jamaica Observer. It's the GFF Sports Max Elite League.
Top striker, top striker.
Maxi. The fruit drink that's easy to make. Ready in an instant, taste so great. Maxi. With a vitamin A, B, and C. It goes a lot further for your family.
As a mom on the go, it's good to know that 145-gram sachet of Maxi makes a full liter of my kid's favorite fruit-flavored drink. Now that's refreshing value.
Maxi, instant fruit-flavored drink.
Ooh, yeah. Maxi. Moms love the value, kids love the taste.
This segment is sponsored by New Era Fencing and Property Services Limited, the efficient fence people. Call 764-8986. Gateway Pharmacy, the gateway to your health. Mortis Auto Parts, for a very wide range of auto parts. Electrolock Locksmith and Security System Limited, 11 Kasha Park Road. Call 937-7823. Keeping you safe and secure. Value Auto Spares. You get value for your money. jacars.net. Don't walk, click. Mac Jones Locksmith Limited, the safe and vault experts, serving Jamaica for over 50 years. New Look Cleaners Limited. Get the best look at New Look Dry Cleaners. And Cohen's Electrical and Associates Limited, bringing you a brighter world.
You're listening to the award-winning Scoreboard on your #1 sports radio station, KLAS Sports FM 89, powered by ESPN.
Welcome back. We still have the National Under-17 coach Andrew Edwards on the line. They have drawn a really tough group, but tough on paper. Andrew says, as we have Mexico, USA, El Salvador. He has had good experience against the American team. But Andrew, first question in this segment. Have you scouted each team? Do you know what each of them has to offer and how we'll respond to them?
The answer to that is yes. The USA in particular, we have spent a lot of time studying them. And we continue to study whatever information we can find about them. Fortunately, certainly in the case of the USA and Mexico, their systems don't change a lot. And so what they do is pretty much the same as they did 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago. So they have a philosophy that remains true. Excuse me. And it only changes in terms of personnel. Whether it be the coaches or the players.
Yes. The USA in particular, they usually are bigger players. They are physical, they are strong, they play according to their system. I don't know. What about their creativity, and is that area in which we could exploit what we have in terms of the gifted nature of our players if we can get that system organized and with individual and collective responsibility?
They have all that you have mentioned, Stratton, and they do have creative players as well. I think, if I can remember some of the names, there's a player named Costa and one Andrew Carlton, I think his name.
Yes, that's right.
And of course, Tim Weir, which is the son of George Weir, playing professionally at PSG. But these are some of the more notable ones in terms of creativity.
Isn't his mother Jamaican?
Yes, his mother is
what
Jamaican.
Is he doing playing for the US?
Well, that's a question for the parents. But you never know. He could still play for Jamaica in the future because you're not
bonded after
until you have played senior competition.
So, Andrew, as we prepare for the tournament, as you know, Sundays our opening game against the USA. Do you have an idea of now the system that we're going to go and approach the States, and would it differ as it relates to the opponents that would come up against?
Not really. I think we'll use the same system, but we may change the personnel because each of the three opposition teams will offer different challenges, and so the personnel that we select for each game or the moment in the game will depend on who we're playing and what is happening in the game at the moment.
In terms of the starting time for match, we should be at home for a 12:30 game, or are we?
Sorry, go to repeat the question.
The 12:30 game against US.
They're 1 hour behind Jamaica. So it's 1:30 our time.
1:30 our time. Are we practiced in that area?
We have had a couple of sessions in and around the time. I can tell you it's going to be extremely difficult for the boys, especially playing on AstroTurf, and that's something that we didn't have the advantage of using here in Jamaica, which is one of the things that really bothers me a lot. I can't see why we don't have a AstroTurf playing field in the country. at any level, not necessarily for the JFS, but wherever.
But couldn't you, forgive me here, Andrew, because couldn't you borrow the hockey field and play at Mona?
Quite frankly, personally, I never thought of that. So that would not have been an option coming from my perspective. However, we did have a couple of sessions at the Liberty Play Field, courtesy of Andre Virtue and the Ballers family.
Yeah.
And we can use this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to him for that. The challenge we had with that is timing, really. Andre did bend back a bit sometimes to accommodate us in the few sessions that we did there. But he uses it for his own business, one, and two, we can't use it during school hours, and of course you know that 12:30, 1 o'clock is school time. So that is where we had a few challenges with that particular setup. On the other side, it doesn't offer a full field either. So yes, we can do some work there, but it's not expansive enough.
What about the critical area of physical fitness, Andrew? And that just run up and down fitness, but when big bodies lean on you, how will you respond to that?
I think we are in really, really good state where that is concerned. I mean, obviously, we're not going to look as big and bulky as the US boys or maybe even the Mexicans. But I think we are going to be strong. We are going to have the endurance to last. And this also is partly due to the relationship that we have renewed, because I was made to understand afterwards that it is something that used to happen in the past. But we were fortunate to be granted permission to use the gym at the JDF, courtesy of Lieutenant Speed and his able staff. They really did a wonderful job assisting us with our physical preparation. And we were there Tuesdays and Thursdays for about 6 or 7 weeks at minimum. And then we changed to Wednesdays and Saturdays.
What about, well, let me put it this way. Dr. Paul had indicated earlier that we are almost in a no-loss situation based on the draw, because we may perhaps see...
I'm not hearing you clearly. Could you speak up a little bit?
Well, I was saying that Dr. Paul had indicated earlier that we are in a no-loss situation based on the fact that we have the US and Mexico, two strong teams, so it will augur well for the future. What is your position in terms of your own influence on this team going forward, that after that experience that they don't scatter abroad and we'll lose them as we move forward for future engagements?
I don't really have much personal influence except insofar as the individual players may from time to time reach out to me for advice and so on, but I don't have any other personal influence. A couple of the boys who played in the last team, I still maintain a pretty good relationship with them, and I will from time to time offer them some tidbits that they have found useful, or so they say, and they will continue to seek my input in that regard. But from a direct involvement as a group and even with individuals, that's nothing.
But don't you think that should be institutionalized, though? Because you speak about the last group that you had and the kind of success you had. They nearly make it. But where are they now in terms of building them for the future?
Yes. The JFF listen to you.
You're asking a very pertinent question. Yes. And that has to be from a level above me right now in terms of how they transition through the system and how the system treats with their continued development. But suffice to say that I am one of those persons who hold the view that our youth teams, we now have under 15s as well, and then under 17, these players must, when they are selected, be targeted for some 8 to 10, maybe 12 years development.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And we must continue to monitor them and to treat them as a part of the program over that period of time. Obviously not all of them will make the transition. Yes. But you need to, if you look at the 2015 pool of players, if my memory is very good, we had I think 78 players in that pool in total in terms of the number of players that we looked at, we scouted, that we brought into camp, etc., etc. If you look at this current pool, we're talking about closer to 200 players, maybe about 180 something in total. Going across the entire length and breadth of Jamaica and including players from the diaspora. Even as far as England, last campaign we didn't have any diaspora kids coming out of the UK. This time around we had diaspora kids coming for trials from the UK. We had two of them, one who plays at Crystal Palace and one who plays at Portsmouth. None of them, in my view, were at the point, at the stage where we wanted to include them in our group.
There you go.
But the fact of the matter is that the interest is there, and they did come and present themselves for selection. And as such, they remain a part of the pool of players that we want to monitor.
Final thing I'd say to you, Andrew, that this is an investment. It don't stop after the tournament ends, and it should be carried on. I think that the facility that we have at UW there should be used to take these players through their paces, and we pick out those we need to move forward with. Anyhow, as you say, you don't have the say, but I know that is in your heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's above my pay grade, but that is ideally what I would want to see happen, and that is what I continue to champion and hope for, and hopefully we'll get to that eventually, if not soon, but later.
Okay.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. It has been useful speaking to you. We are all behind the team. Hope for success, and that the work that you have started will continue till we reach the next World Cup campaign.
Thank you very much, Strata.
All right, thanks, Andrew Edwards.
Visit Donald Winter Limited for all your AC units and compressors for industrial and commercial needs. They stock a wide variety of motors for cold room, AC, refrigerators, and chemicals for commercial use. Located in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Maypen. Telephone 906-4516 in Kingston, 902-1469 in Maypen, and 940-2294 in Montego Bay. At Donald Winter Limited, we sweat to keep you cool.
Jamaica's most luxurious, all-inclusive resort located in Ocho Rios, Moon Palace Jamaica Grand. Are you in? Offering signature amenities you've come to love from Palace Resorts. 4 dining destinations and 6 bars and lounges. Spacious accommodations accentuated by a flow rider double wave simulator. Nor nightclub, a dolphin habitat, nightly entertainment, the Caribbean's most extravagant spa and more. Book now at moonpalacejamaica.com. # the Palace Life happening right now at Moon Palace Jamaica Grand.
Need to spruce up those clothes or take a break from the washing? Then visit New Look Dry Cleaners and Launderers at 120 Red Hills Road, Kingston 19, or Shop 23 Manor Park Plaza for speedy service and the very best prices. Everything will look like new. Be part of the thousands of satisfied customers. Call 925-9464 or 931-1305. Get the best look at New Look.
This segment is sponsored by New Era Fencing and Property Services Limited, the efficient fence people. Call 764-8986. Gateway Pharmacy, the gateway to your